everyone is a healer. This is accessible to everyone. All of the clairs, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, they're all accessible to all of us, but some people do have an easier time, and in my opinion, and from what I've seen, it's empaths. Good morning, everyone. My name is Suzanne. I'm an energy healer, and I also have a course to teach people how to do self-healing. So I'm sharing my insights from meditation and my channeled writings for 7 days. Today is day 5. So it's been really interesting. I got a really interesting download about the Lionsgate portal and also how it relates to like divine union, and then some cool flowers came in. So it was a really interesting meditation this morning. As for how things unfolded yesterday, after I did that meditation, I went out dancing, and I had really been in quite a bit of pain before that. Like my heart was just hurting. I had a few tough social situations that I was dealing with where I had felt some level of rejection or, even a little bit of betrayal, which is interesting because that theme had come up in meditation on like day 2 or something. So part of the channeled message from yesterday, I didn't read because I just felt like it was too personal. But now when I reread it, I feel like I want to share it because I was able to stay in an energy of love. I was able to stay really open, even towards someone that I really wanted to kind of retract from to protect myself. But ultimately, that's not the energy I personally am here to embody. Maybe some people that's for them, but for me, it's not. I'm here to stay in love and model love in relationships, even when things don't go well. And that's kind of just my vibe. But so what it said was, you're doing a good job. You don't need to feel guilty or fearful for the way things are unfolding. The universe is infinite and there's always more. This is a cliff note in your story. The greatest chapters are yet to come. He doesn't want to hurt you. He knows he's not there. It's not a critique or rejection of you or desire for another. It is intuition and knowing his own state and season. You don't have to reject him with harshness. I was thinking about blocking this person, even though that was like an extreme reaction. And I knew in the moment that was like a trauma reaction, like a avoidant kind of thing. So I wasn't really going to do it, but it did cross my mind, and they didn't really do anything wrong. Exactly. So you don't have to reject him with harshness. Just be light. Something is coming. It is unfolding perfectly. What a beautiful catalyzing connection. You've grown so much. This is another chapter. Can you remain expansive? Will you? You've done it before. It's not fake. It's your nature. It's truer than any lens of pain or trauma you'd overlay on the scene of your relationship. Two souls consciously meeting in this moment to wake up their hearts. Remember the power of knowing what you don't want and truly embodying love from within, not without. So that was the rest of the channeled message from yesterday that I hadn't shared. And so I went out dancing with this transmission of no. My mood totally shifted. I was in a great mood, and I was able to connect really well with people and stay in an energy of love despite the circumstances. And so that felt really good. I think there's always multiple paths possible. And, there's the way things have existed in relationship in the past, the old paradigms. And we don't really have a lot of people modeling for us what the new paradigm in relationship is. When you truly care for somebody on a soul level and you recognize the connection you've had through time, even if things don't play out the way you want them to on a 3D level, or, one or both of you gets triggered in some way and that causes some separation, you can still leave things in a loving manner. You don't have to take it personally. You never have to take other people's pain personally. And that makes life a lot less painful when you start seeing that, when people come at you from their own pain, that's not your problem. You say a prayer for them, you call your energy back and know that it actually has nothing to do with you. You are acting as a catalyst for them. So that was really interesting. Then this morning when I was doing my meditation, same thing as usual, grounded myself, calling in divine energy, cut all my cords, and I was shown to download the blueprint for divine union, and I saw kind of like a cool sacred geometry sort of image, and then it was like interlaid in my body, and it was like I felt such a feeling of like love, like an intense, beautiful feeling of love. And it was like, you have this now, so you can, when people come into your life, you can see if they are overlined with this blueprint, because there's many types of connection, and you can have a deep connection with somebody without them being, you know, your long-term partner or whatever. So I've seen this image before, but sometimes spirit likes to remind me. I saw myself as like a big white orb, and then I saw other people coming towards me and bouncing off, just kind of looking like outlines of people. And then in the distance, another big white orb coming towards me and us joining together. And so the reminder that when people bounce off your energy, it's not personal, you know, they're not on your frequency or whatever, and it's not for you, and that's fine. I also felt how the thing that makes certain people repelled from me is the thing that is going to make the person for me most attracted to me. Because for me, in relationship, when things get really deep and we start to see each other fully and maybe old things come up, like this week, for example, I've had so much healing of old wounds. Again, this morning, I saw so many flashbacks of things from my childhood or my adolescence or relationship that were coming up to heal. And that is so beautiful and awesome to have that catalyst. But oftentimes I have been in relationships where when people experience the energetic depth that they do with me and it triggers them, they retreat because they're not ready for that phase of their life, or to see themselves that fully, or to have light pour on those wounds. It's painful when light pours on your wounds, and that's why in love, there is an inherent, at least small amount of triggering, because all your own old wounds get light poured on them, and that's how they heal. And when it's a good relationship, there's basically two types of catalyzing relationships, in my opinion. There's the one where there's so much love and joy and support that triggering, you're able to heal from it together, and you're able to, you know, reach a new level together. And then there's ones where there's too much friction. So just because you're being triggered a lot doesn't mean that it's necessarily like good for your growth. I mean, ultimately everything's good for your growth, but I feel like there's an easier path, and then there's a path with more friction. I've also had relationships that were very catalyzing and very healing and triggered a lot, but there wasn't the support there to grow with ease. It was painful. Whereas I've had others where that was happening, but we had enough love and joy in the connection that we were able to support each other versus it just being like metal on metal. So I saw that the person for me, instead of being repelled by that opening, that depth, would feel like I do and be so excited to have that with someone and to have that further insight into themselves. And I felt what that feels like, you know, I have had that, and I do remember that. And so it was really beautiful to have a reminder of that feeling, and a reminder that whenever somebody is truly resonant with you, everything about you and everything about the connection is going to excite them. It's not going to be a burden to them. So then I saw that one of the reasons it feels so good to be freshly single is not just mental, it's energetic. Because when a relationship ends, you naturally call your energy back from all the future timelines that you had created with that person. And the more of your energy is present with you, essentially the better you feel and the more possibilities you are. So in that moment where maybe you had, you know, a set number of timelines where you end up with a person in this way, that way, this way in your mind, and you had invested all of your energy into these timelines, whenever the relationship ends and those sever, suddenly your energy is back to you and way more timelines open up. So now there's much more possibility. One of the reasons that we call our energy back from the future and keep it with us is the less energy you have invested into future timelines, the more opportunity there is for miracles. So if you already have a rigid way in your mind that things are going to play out, and you've set a pin on your timeline of this is going to happen at this time. There's not as many possible divine interventions in the meantime, as far as like miracles that can happen to have something extraordinary happen. Of course, it's still totally possible, but especially in relationship, I think it's really palpable, that feeling when a relationship ends of like, oh, so much is possible. And that's what they were telling me, is like, it is those timelines opening up that gives us that sense of possibility. It's not just, oh, I'm free to have other partners now. Then I saw some flowers, and they ended up being super relevant for the channeled message. I didn't know what they meant until afterwards, so I love when that happens, which happens pretty much every time. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'm an energy healer, and my main energy healing practice has to do with healing people with the frequency of different flowers. So basically, I have a relationship with the flowers and nature, and I kind of act as a channel to bring the energies of those flowers or call upon them to be in your field and help you heal. So I always see flowers when I do healings on people, and they're always so relevant to whatever they're going through or whatever I'm going through. And I think it's the sweetest thing that they show up for us like that, and that we can cultivate that relationship. It's like, I don't know. So it just makes me really smile. I love them so much. But yeah, so Violet was there again, and Violet is really about staying true to yourself and your own authentic vibration and whims and desires. And then Passionflower. And Passionflower for me has a very high vibrational, like upper chakra kind of vibe. I see it as like very psychically activating. That's just my take on the main thing that comes to me about it. But I love to look it up and see what energies people have got from it. So it said that it has to do with cultivating deep compassion for oneself, returning to who we are, rewriting old stories, and claiming one's power as the creator of their life. Being weavers of your own fate and telling new stories, improved spiritual perceptiveness, reaching the deepest reserves of one's ingenuity and purest form of their passions. And that's really been a theme lately too, and you'll see in a minute how it ties into the channeled writing that I did. I also got that being attracted to many people or many different paths at this time was because there are different parts of me that are seeking to be reintegrated, and there's kind of other things are kind of pinging them, like, oh, there's that part of me, oh, there's that part of me. And so everything feels very like indecisive, kind of, because there's all these different parts that are getting lit up. And that's definitely a collective theme, especially based on what the channeled writing said. So I'll go ahead and read this. It's about the Lion's Gate. This is me channeling my highest self, not some other being or something. So the energies that were coming through were strength, courage, and cracking of light. So I saw that as an image of like your field and aura, like being filled with so much golden light that it was like creating cracks and showing your true essence, that gold light being your soul really shining through. It said reunification of spirit and identity. So the reuniting of those. That's why it's painful. Another layer of facade crumbling, collective transformation and activation. Unity stems from within. The violence, war, disparity could only be resolved when you harmonize the war within you. The ripple of revealing one's true face is greater than one would imagine. A catalyst for inner reunion. The pressure will increase to a breaking point for those that resist their true essence at this time. Do you prefer grace or friction? Pay attention to symbology that is coming to you, particularly Egyptian. Feel the remembrance of a time when you were so full of your spirit that the power was palpable, the veil between your thoughts and your 3D reality barely perceptible. That density is already available. Remember and anchor. Ask Gaia to assist you in holding the energy. And I also got camphor, which is like a plant, an essential oil. It's not serious. It is the energy of a child at play like no one's watching. The sun will insist in upgrades. I asked, is it related to divine union? It said, yes, outer union reflects inner union. So I was getting the feeling that the Lionsgate portal this time has a lot to do with revealing, who we truly are on another level, and also the union of inner, divine masculine and divine feminine. Maybe that's also why there's such a desire at this time for outer union. I don't know how much other people are feeling that. I know that that's what I'm feeling, and that's obviously been a big theme for me. The other thing I got was kind of personal for me, but I thought it was really beautiful, so I'll share it. I was thinking about how recently, since I moved into being a full-time energy healer, I've been an energy healer for years, but since I started doing it more full-time lately and doing even more healings on people, my channel has really opened up. And also I've been doing these channel writings for this, and hearing how much information is coming through me really kind of astounds me. Or at the end of my healings, when I write out everything that came for somebody, and it's been things like supplements, crystals, messages, certain meditation practices, of course the flowers and their messages, how to specifically ask for things they need, people's loved ones that have passed talking to me. Like, it's really opened up, and it's so beautiful because I was remembering how I used to be, maybe not jealous, but I always wanted, when I would get like a healing or something from someone and they would give me like information that actually helped me with my life, I was always like, that's so awesome. Because I used to just, see people's chakras and I would know what was blocked and things like that. But I just realized that I am at the point that I strived towards. The thing that I admired, I've now become it. Like, I now have that channel and it's opening more and more. And that's honestly just such a gift to be able to access that clarity for myself and to be able to give that to other people. Like, that really, like, I teared up. I'm tearing up right now because it really means a lot to me I guess I hadn't recognized the difference until doing this practice and recently in my healings when I'm writing things out and seeing how much has come through. Like, it really is so, so beautiful. And I guess I never thought I would have that. I thought that was something either you have or you don't. But that's the thing about intuitive gifts, is they grow. When you get energy healing and you open up more and you clear more off, they grow. When you learn to do self-healing, they really grow because you can give yourself healing every single day. You probably can't afford to get an energy healing every day. So that is something that I offer in my energy healings. You get that frequency, you get that channeling. I also teach people to do healing on themselves. If you're interested in developing that practice where you can kind of go into meditation and heal yourself and learn to open your gifts. And these kind of gifts, everyone is a healer. This is accessible to everyone. All of the clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, they're all accessible to all of us, but some people do have an easier time, and in my opinion, and from what I've seen, it's empaths. And so it's ironic or fair in a way that those of us who are very sensitive to others' energies, and maybe you've suffered with feeling the energy of the room whenever you go. If someone's in a bad mood and they're hiding it, you can just tell. If someone you're close to is going through something, you can feel it. Getting overloaded with other people's energies, knowing things that you shouldn't know, all of that kind of stuff, having extra sensory perception or being sensitive to any of your senses. This basically means that you're an empath, which just means that your field is naturally more open, and that can really feel like a burden. So if you want to learn to close that so that you have more energetic boundaries and you can feel your own energy and have the peace of that, that is part of what we learn. And also, your energy field is naturally it's leaning towards too open. So your gifts are right there. They're perceptible. Basically, you just need to learn to control it. And so that is the gift of being an empath. So that is what I teach in my course. And we can also work on that in energy healings. So if you're one of those people that feels like you really feel the world, and maybe that has been a burden to you, that can transform into your biggest gift. So yeah, Anyway, I hope everyone has a great weekend, and if you're interested in booking a session with me or just learning more, feel free to ask me any questions or connect with me on Instagram. That's my main platform. I also post some of my writings and channeled works if you want to see them in written form on Threads. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, let's see what happens.